Hello, this is Tantra Bensko in Romania, and I've had the fantastic opportunity to read somewhere around 300 auras of these primarily Romanian youth over the last 10 days. I'd like to share what it's like to read auras. This group has been especially beautiful, very open and excited, because in general, the readings, I would say, are completely accurate. I was trained when I was 13 in Silva method, and that was very helpful in being able to do this kind of thing, where we were given cards with a person's name and address, and that's it. And so we would imagine the person in front of us and start describing what we see, and we did it over and over again until we got accurate. And so I've been doing this ever since, with my own ways of doing it. And so when I have someone stand in front of me to do an aura reading, I like to get a white background if possible. Sometimes it was the white off the Danube, or a sign that had writing on the other side, or white very far away on a little bit of a boat. So it wasn't ideal, but it still helped. Something like that still made it possible. For doing it yourself, I would recommend taking a white sheet or a white towel, hanging it up, getting in front of white curtains, something like that, or in front of black. That works really well too. So then I would just look at the person, and I like to start above the head. That tells me a lot. A few things that stood out that I remember in this crowd. One person, I could see this area up above her head was very focused on a lot of languages, not just because there was Romanian speaking English to me, but that she was very focused in her life on a multitude of languages, and she was proficient in them, and this was a big part of it, and this was indeed a major part of her life, speaking a lot of languages. This was her focus. Some auras were harder to read than others because those people would keep them closed in and hiding them so other people didn't see them. One person, I mentioned that, and he said, yes, that's true, he always does that, and they let me see it, and then it was very clear. Another person, I couldn't see his auras at all, and he knew that was going to be the case, and he said this was something that he would like to show other people how to do, because basically it was like invisible to radar kind of aura. And otherwise, it was usually very quickly possible to see what the person was like. And so sometimes I would see colors. That's not the easiest part to see, actually, the color, and it's not even really necessary. Sometimes I might see it just a line along somebody's arm, or a little flash, something here or there. Sometimes they have different colors, and I could even see what kind of colors they would have at different times, whether they were showing it at the moment or not. For example, one person I could see, he had a lot of blue, straightforward blue, and then at other times he would have this yellow. I could see both of them in there to some degree, but I could tell that when he was really just getting things done mode, he was in his blue. When he was playing with his friends, he was in his yellow. And he said, indeed, everybody told him he was like that it was almost like a dual personality, Gemini, it turned out. And his aura, however, his yellow, was a bit dingy because of toxins. And he explained that he had a medical condition that he hadn't been able to get exercise, for example, things like that. So he was building up all these toxins, but it was improving, and that's why there was some green in there as well. And so if I see toxins, then I give people the suggestion for what to do to get rid of the toxins in that particular area. And some people, I could see toxins building up in the chest, and I would recommend that they stop smoking cigarettes. They always did smoke cigarettes when I would mention that. So maybe one person I might mention, he's got a problem with the kidneys. Yes, that is his serious area. He's got kidney stones. whatever the area is, maybe depletion of sexual energy, or maybe I could see what kind of injuries that they had had recently. Too much stomping around on the ground, too much overworking for the adrenals, whatever it was, the part of the body that needed some help would show itself to me generally pretty quickly. And sometimes I could tell if a person would tune out what's around them or bring in what's around them. For example, one girl had, it was like spirally antennas, so she could see wherever she was. She would be able to notice on the periphery or hear a conversation somewhere. She would be able to tell what's going on around her. Another person very narrowed in, as if she wouldn't notice what was going around her, and she would stay focused on what she was doing, and her interests were more narrowed and focused. So you can tell a lot by the shape of the aura and how it interacts with the world around it. For example, I could always tell if a person could easily just let insults flow through them and stay nice and clear and it wouldn't bother them at all. Maybe bump them off, bump off the insults, and or if they would really be hurt by them and they would feel like they had to just go lie down and had to punch in the stomach and hold on to them. I could tell if they held on to toxins in the thighs, for example. Even though women were wearing skirts at the time, I would be able to tell if they had cellulite or not because of a thickness around the legs, and I recommended to them partly that they should try some sage and salt in that area to clean the aura for the people who looked like it would be possible for them to have less of that. I could tell if people would hold on to grudges, if they would let them go, if they opened up their whole self in a relationship, or if they would close and just only keep part of it, if they had been hurt in relationships a lot before and needed to keep some protection now, or if they were in a really beautiful relationship. I could tell how they treated their boyfriends or girlfriends. I could see their professions a lot of times. Like, for example, one person, I could see him grabbing somebody's wrists, showing his authority, and he was a policeman. One person, I could see that she would be going into the future wearing something very elegant, traveling, and making these decisions that were affecting the world. She said she was getting ready to be an ambassador. Some of the things I saw were not that pleasant. One person I could tell had been under some kind of psychic attack, and I was telling him that it was as if he was pushed down on his head, and I could see all these attachments of these tentacles of an entity, you could say, and he knew it. He was really miserable, and so I was describing how it was making him feel physically, and he said this was true. It was interesting at the end when we were talking about that, somebody came up and did that exact movement and hit him on the head. I could tell another person was very interested in horses, and that they were actually almost an interdimensional helper for this person, which was really beautiful. And she said that was the big thing for her was horses, and that her feeling that they were very important was not exaggerated.